You know, in our world of refrigerators and 24/7 grocery stores, it's almost impossible to really wrap your head around it. How did our ancestors actually survive a full year? Especially a brutal, unforgiving winter, with none of the tech we take for granted. Well, this is that story. A story of survival etched into the memories of the people who actually lived it. See, this wasn't just some campfire story. This was a literal manual for life. This was knowledge passed down from generation to generation. And the difference between a village that thrived and a field of unmarked graves? Well, it was all held in these memories, these tales of the long frozen years. It's a pretty wild question when you think about it, isn't it? As we've gained all this convenience, we've kind of outsourced our own survival. This story, it puts us right back in a time when staying alive was a daily, hands-on job. So let's dive in and see what that really, truly meant. Okay, so put yourself in this world. This is your life. You're the chieftain. Your family, your entire village, they are all looking to you. And every single year is a race, a massive gamble against the coming cold. And the stakes? They couldn't possibly be higher. This isn't about profit margins or losing some title. No, this is about life and death. A single miscalculation, one failure to plan, and the consequences are immediate. They're devastating. The community you swore to protect, they starve. So, imagine, the village is humming along. Everyone's working. The harvest is just around the corner. Everything seems to be going according to that ancient rhythm of the seasons. But this year, nature has a lethal surprise waiting. It's a feeling that cuts way deeper than just the cold air. It's that icy grip of pure fear in your stomach. This isn't just a chilly autumn morning. This is a declaration of war from the elements, and it has shown up way, way too early. And just like that, you can see the damage. The fields, the very lifeline of your village, are ruined. Leaves are wilted and black. The plants are literally dying on the stalk. But the real proof? It's on the faces of your people. They know. They know this won't be enough. The only move you have left is to try and salvage whatever you possibly can, right now. So now that annual gamble becomes a desperate, frantic race. This tiny, damaged harvest means every single piece of food is beyond precious. And this is where that ancestral knowledge, those stories told around the fire, suddenly become the most important tools you have. First things first, you need a preservative. This is exactly why your ancestors settled by the sea. You get everyone to collect seawater, you boil it over a massive fire, and as all that water turns into steam, you're left with the one thing you need most: salt. This gritty white sediment is scraped up and becomes the key to making your food last. Now, for the meat, your main source of energy for the winter. The process is so meticulous. You carefully strip it from the bone, you hang it in long strips to dry in the wind and sun until it gets that tough, jerky-like texture. And then you take that salt you worked so hard for and you rub it deep, deep into the flesh. This right here, this is your lifeline. And then there's honey. Oh man, honey is so much more than just a sweet treat. Yeah, it's a burst of energy and it's a huge boost for morale, but its other property is almost like magic. This amber liquid literally never spoils, and it can preserve other foods, like berries, if you just seal them inside it. Imagine that, a taste of summer in the dead of winter. And here's where things get really clever. You actually use the enemy, the cold itself, to your advantage. You dig these pits deep into the earth. You carefully wrap your grains, your tubers, your salted meats in animal hides, and then you bury them. Pretty soon, the ground itself will freeze solid, creating a perfect natural freezer, protecting your precious stores from scavengers and rot. So the work is finally done. Salt has been made. Meat is dried, honey's stored away, the pits are all dug and filled. You've used every single bit of knowledge that was passed down to you. But as the first real snows begin to fall, there's that one gnawing question that just won't go away. Was it enough? And here is the brutal truth of it all. All those carefully laid plans, the whole fight against nature, you know what? That was the easy part. The real test is just about to begin. And the threat? It isn't coming from the frozen landscape. It's coming from inside your own village. The winter hits, and it hits hard. The wind howls nonstop, and the entire world just shrinks to the size of your shelter. And inside that shelter, a slow, terrible transformation is taking place. This is the absolute heart of it. The bonds of community, the friendships you forged over hunts and harvests, all the shared stories. You realize they're all fragile. Hunger is like a solvent that can dissolve even the strongest human ties. And you can literally watch the breakdown happen, step by agonizing step. First, the rations just get smaller and smaller. Then you start hearing noises in the dead of night. It's not an animal, it's your neighbors, desperate and starving, trying to steal from your family's storage pit. Your son is forced to defend your food, and in the struggle, he wounds a man you once called a friend. And after that, everything is different. The enemy isn't the cold anymore. It's everyone else. Now the struggle turns inward, right inside your own family. The most agonizing decisions are the ones made in total silence. Your wife starts eating less. Her hands are too slow for weaving, she says. You follow her lead, your own body growing thinner. You both know the unspoken rule. The children must eat. After a brutal hunt out in the whipping wind, you come back with a small kill, only to find your greatest fear has come true. Your wife is lying by the fire. Her breathing is faint, shallow. She just waves away the food you offer her. She knows her time is over. And you sit with her, holding her hand as her grip loosens, until there is only the sound of the wind. And then, slowly, the world starts to thaw. The sun hangs in the sky a little longer each day. The brutal winter is finally ending. You survived, but it feels absolutely nothing like a victory. Just look at these numbers. This is the final tally. This is the winter's real cost. You survived, yes, but less than a quarter of your village did. More than 3/4 of the people you knew, your friends, your neighbors, entire families, they're gone. And that's the grim reality of what comes next. What's left here, it's not a community. It's just a collection of ghosts. There aren't enough people to plant the fields, not enough young men to go on the hunt. The social fabric that made life even possible in the first place has been completely torn to shreds. The heartbreaking truth is, there's nothing left to save here. You pack the few supplies you have left, and with your children huddled at your side, you turn your back on the only home you've ever known. You just start walking, hoping to find another village, other survivors, anywhere to start over. You made it. You got through the frost, the hunger, the violence. You kept your children alive. But as you walk away from the graves of your wife and all your neighbors, you have to ask yourself, in a battle that costs you almost everything you love, what does survival actually look like? What does it truly mean to win?